As I write this, I am drinking a cider made by a cult producer in New York's Catskills region called Aaron Burr Cidery, named after the treasonous vice president who, as you may have heard, shot and killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel. This particular bottling is labeled sea apples, and the apples used to make this cider were hand-foraged from wild, uncultivated trees along the shoreline of remote Idaho off the coast of Maine by the cider makers Andy Brennan and Polly Girigosian. The trees grow so close to the sea that a light film of salt forms on the apples' skins as they ripen. This bottling was made from fruit harvested during the autumns of 2015 and 2016, and so when I'm drinking it, the cider has a few years of age. It's funky, elemental, mineral, briny. The ripe, earthy apple aromas suggest a gnarled peel, but there are even more far-flung notes that taste closer to old Amontillado sherry. Aaron Burr Cidery made only 21 cases of this cider, and it is difficult to find. I've seen it retail at just under $30 for a 500 milliliter bottle, which is smaller than a standard wine bottle. I've seen it on a drinks menu at a fancy restaurant in Manhattan for more than $50. Suffice to say, Aaron Burr Cidery's Sea Apples is about as far from that one solitary mass-market cider your local craft beer bar probably keeps on tap. If you're like a lot of people, you drank that one cider once and found it sugary, cloying, boring, and something to avoid. You may have never drunk cider again. This is sad, because that's like drinking a glass of Yellowtail or a cheap boxed wine, or maybe even a Bartles and James wine cooler, and then deciding that all wine, white or red, sparkling or rosé, old world or new world, Grand Cru or gluggable, sucks. These days, in my wine fridge, I have dozens of excellent ciders. They crowd out much of the space that, until recently, was reserved for my favorite wines. I have bubbly ciders and still ciders, tannic ciders and acidic ciders, bone-dry ciders and off-dry ciders, ciders made of American heirloom apples, English bitter sharp and bitter-sweet apples, Spanish apples, French apples, and wild crab apples. Most of these ciders come in 750 milliliter bottles, the standard-sized bottle for wine. Some are made in the same traditional method as champagne. Others use apples that are macerated with their skins before pressing to achieve an effect similar to red wine. There are bottlings made from a single apple variety, such as 100% Northern Spy, or Kingston Black, or Geneva Tremlet, labeled just like Pinot Noir or Chardonnay or Cabernet Sauvignon. I even have single orchard and single tree bottlings. Most of the ciders are blends of colorfully named apple varieties: Newtown Pippin, Roxbury Russet, Brown Snout, Golden Russet, Harry Masters Jersey, Ashmead's Kernel, Esopus Spitzenberg, Ellis Bitter, Bulmer's Norman, Wixon Crab, Zabergau Rainet, just to name but a few of the hundreds of unfamiliar apples with which one can make cider. Beyond those hundreds are thousands more unnamed varieties growing wild throughout North America, to be discovered by foragers like those at Aaron Burr Cidery. There are about 1,400 known wine grapes in the world, a fraction of the 7,500 apple varieties known to be cultivated. In the U.S. alone, there are more than 2,500 identified apple varieties in existence. There have been more than 16,000 varieties cultivated at one time or another in North America, though most of them are now extinct. All of this may come as a surprise to drinkers who have experienced cider only through the prism of craft beer, consuming it from that one sad, lonely tap handle at the bar.